2 Point Hospital is basically just Theme Hospital from PS1. Like, that's it. That's the review. It plays pretty much identically to it. Except, and here's the thing, it doesn't really know if it wants to be funny and fun first, which was a problem that Theme Hospital also had. In it, there are a variety of amusing diseases, there's some funny radio ads, the pun game is very strong, and that stuff's good. And then there's the incredibly serious and detailed minutiae part, which the game does, in my opinion, quite badly. Because there's just more depth in here than there really needs to be. Like, my main wish on playing this game for a while is that there was a sandbox mode where I'd be able to just turn some things off, because some of the aspects of it are just tedious to try and look after. And in fairness, it's a building management game. That's going to be some of the things you have to do. But for examples of that, like this is a hospital I did a video on when I started out. It took me about 2 hours of gameplay building it up to this point, and I have 2 stars of 3. I have a healthy bank balance at the moment because we've just went through the Christmas awards season when you get some hefty bonuses for things. But up until that point I was pretty much running the risk of bankruptcy because it's incredibly high reputation, which means it's incredibly busy. Like you can see here that there are queues of 7 people waiting to be seen at the psychiatry offices, except we need a doctor who's got psychiatry to be able to be there. Now, at the moment, we have got staff. I have 14 doctors on staff, many of whom have psychiatry, except that a lot of them are on breaks at the same time, because they need to go on breaks regularly because, tiredness and all that. So almost all of my psychiatrists are currently either working in a GP's office, or on break, or about to go on break. So there's no one available for that. So, I suppose I could go and hire an hour person. Let's see, here's someone, only our $2.5 grand a month. But look at this. This person's got Psychiatry 1 and Psychiatry 2. So you get 20% better, or she got 20% better psychiatry skill. Except that they're also argumentative and argue with our argumentative people. So it becomes a thing of trying to weigh up, like, yeah, we just need this doctor just now for this psychiatrist's office, because people need to be seen, because otherwise people start dying in your hospital, and the whole point of the game is to have people not be dying in your hospital, But, like, the game doesn't really seem to mind that much if people are dying or not. Like, the goals I've had so far in the game have not been particularly challenging. But then you get pop-ups like this all the time, like, hey, there's 8 people waiting for the pharmacy, so maybe you should build another one. And then make sure you have enough staff for it, and then make sure you have people maintaining the machines. Except if you have too many janitors, it will then tell you you've got too many janitors, because a couple of them are running around idle. Because people seem to have difficulty assigning themselves to jobs. Like, my janitors also have to do stuff like water all of my plants, and unclog all of my toilets, each of which has an individual cleanliness rating. And all this stuff is just too much detail. And more detail than I want to get into with the game. Like, I just want to kind of plop down rooms, have people come and go, have the machine tick over, and, have fun laughing at the puns and jokes. Because, like I say, the puns, the visual design for stuff like the dehumidifier, which is currently curing this person of thinking they're a clown by showing them a series of rotating sad images, are great. And this person right here is about to die in the hospital because their treatment failed for pandemic because they had a pan stuck on their head. Like, this is the Extractapan 3, is the highest level of Extractapan you can possibly get. And it still failed. Why? Who knows? Like, sometimes you can see the success rates because of stuff like, say, in the wards. Like this person, they're getting diagnosed at the moment. Is this person going in to be cured or being diagnosed? You can be a bit fiddly with this to try and do stuff. So yeah, this person has a chance of 87% of being cured because your diagnosis is perfect because they've got all the diagnosis rooms you can possibly get and they're fully upgraded, but the staff skill is too low. Because this person is a 2-star nurse. And let's see their info. Can I look at their stats? Like you can tell them like, hey, you've got, say, ward stats, so you should probably be in the ward because you've got 20% better treatment skills in the ward. And like the game is regularly pressuring you for things like, hey, you need another pharmacy, you need another nurse for the pharmacy. And you're also simultaneously trying to juggle things so that you have the best staff in the best positions, or else people die. And also to be training those staff, because you need to have a staff member with an empty training slot, and also a staff member who knows that skill to teach it to them over the course of like 60 days, during which time, of course, people also need to go on more breaks and need more staff to replace those. And it's too much. It's just too much. It's more like a spreadsheet than a game at that point, where you're having to be making lists and like mental notes and assigning people jobs and tasks and things, and it just takes away the fun. It just takes away the fun. Like, I'll probably pick it up again down the line when it goes on sale. It's like maybe $10 to see if you've added a sandbox mode or the difficulty options or anything like complexity options. Because I mean, people are literally dying left and right in my hospital, and there's not really much I can do about it because they're dying of things that are just difficult diseases. Like this guy was in my hospital for 310 days. And we knew exactly what was wrong with him, but we couldn't cure him. And now he's a ghost. And now he's going to aggravate people in the hospital and cause more people to get sick and die. Like, this guy, he's got monobrows, he has to go to the ward. Like, his chance of a cure is 68%. He's been in the hospital for almost an entire year getting diagnosed, and we still can't do anything to help him. And like, the only really feasible way of doing anything like that would be to hire a whole bunch more nurses, which of course then you don't have the money to be able to afford because it all costs money to train staff. I think I've made my point, but it's just, it's more complex and complicated than it really needs to be. And it's a shame, because like when I first started playing it, I was having a great time. But it just keeps layering on complexity after complexity after complexity to the point where I just stopped having fun with it. So, buy it when it goes on sale. Give it a try yourself. Or if you've played Theme Hospital, you probably already know if you like it or not. But it's just not for me.